Friday. It's day 5 of week 14 of 52 weeks of vlogging. I'm here with my friend Cheryl. We're going to do a joint book review today. We're talking about The Search for WondLa by Tony DiTerlizzi. DiTerlizzi? How do you say his last name?
DiTerlizzi. I don't know.
DiTerlizzi?
If that's not right, I'm very sorry.
Sorry, Tony. It's a thing. I don't do names really. It's a thing.
I do faces.
There we go. Okay, so this book is in the middle grade section. I really enjoyed loving this book.
That is one way of putting it. Most people would say I liked it, which I did.
We are in agreement. Yeah, I enjoyed reading this book. I really liked the way the illustrations played into this book.
Yes.
Like this.
It's dreamy.
I felt that they didn't swamp the story.
Yes, that's so true.
But they added to the story, which was nice.
They told the story differently than the words did.
Yes, which can be weird, but in this book it really worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I also really loved that it was based on The Wizard of Oz.
I know, that totally. That's why I read it in the first place.
So you knew that going in?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that going in. I thought that it would just be a book, and then all of a sudden it reached the stage and I was like, huh, all of these parallels with The Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
Huh.
Being a bookseller gets that exclusive knowledge.
Lucky.
I am, sometimes.
She gets to sell books.
I also get to read many of them. Many, too many.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
Never
well,
too
sort
many.
of.
You can never read too many books.
It depends.
What is this?
If your book reading gets in the way of things like laundry.
No.
Like, you need pants more than you need books.
No, you don't.
Sometimes.
Only if you want to leave the house.
Yeah, which I do.
Yeah.
So that I can go to work to read the books. And then, yes.
Well, if you sell enough books, you can just constantly buy more pants, and then
That's
you
true.
don't ever have to wash them.
Supply. But then you'd also have this pants cave of unclean pants.
That's okay. Goodwill store. Just
That's true.
Here.
Here are my dirty pants.
Back to the book.
Yes.
What would you say was your favorite thing about the book?
Probably the adventure and the element of the coming of age story for the main character. Because through the adventure you really got to know the characters as opposed to just getting to know the adventure, which in some cases certain books are like that, where you don't really get to know the character so much.
Yes, and I really like that about this book too, actually. I loved the relationship. Okay, so hang on. Rewind! This book is about a girl who is being raised by a robot, basically. Something happens to their house, and their house is invaded, and so she has to leave and escape, and she doesn't know if her mother made it, and all she has is this little like scrap of picture. Okay, I read this book a long time ago. She wonders about the picture if that's her real mother, yes? Mm-hmm. And yes.
Because she was in a place called Sanctuary, so
yes.
She didn't know if things were really as real as what they were to her. So she goes on the journey of trying to find her family with the robot and makes a whole bunch of friends along the way. That's the oversimplified version. So
that's okay. Oversimplified version is what we have time for. I liked this girl's relationship with her robot mother.
Yes.
And I liked that the robot mother was more than just a robot. They didn't have a relationship that was person-servant. They had a relationship that was much more natural and human. Like the robot mother was like a mother to her. And I really loved that the author did that with this book. It's
sort of like it humanized robots, but in a good way, but not in the other bad ways that it could have been.
What would you have changed about this book?
It was a little bit slow to begin with.
Yes!
It took me about 100 pages to really start to not be able to put the book down. I can't handle it when a book is really, really slow because I'm like, I've only got so much time to read this book, and I'm very impatient with books that do that.
I agree, actually. I read this book as a book club pick with the Kidlet, so I didn't really have a choice about reading this book. I might have put it down if I hadn't been obliged to keep reading it, but I'm glad I kept reading it because by the end I loved it. I kind of hate books that do that.
It messes with your emotions because you want to hate it still, but then there's a part of you that's like, but this is going on a special place on my bookshelf.
For me, it's like, you are doing yourself a disservice, book. You should be better at the beginning so that more people will finish you because your ending is awesome.
It could be though that that's the author's working so that he gets the people out who are really disinterested in the book, and then what he'll end up with is amazingly loyal fans. But I don't know if anyone would want to do that.
Yeah, I would say that's a bad strategy actually. Yeah. Have you read the sequel? There's a sequel to this book.
Yes.
Which you should get. But first you should get this book.
As with any sequel, you should get the first one first.
Yes.
It helps a little.
Don't read them out of order.
No.
Don't do that.
We judge you. No, we don't. No.
Not at all. That's it for this book, The Search for WondLa. It has amazing illustrations. It's a little bit slow at the beginning, but trust me, it's worth reading to the end. Definitely.
110%.
And it's actually a pretty quick read.
It was. Once it got going, you'll find that the concepts and everything in it are very graspable, if that's a word it is now. Nonetheless, the book was, I don't even know what I was saying. That's really good.
It's graspable. That's all we need to know. Buy it. Find it at your local bookstore in the 9 to 12 section or online. Links in the description. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.